Welcome back to the channel. I am literally losing my mind over the setup for the week of May 25th through the 29th. I mean, I have been watching this show for years, and this is quite possibly the most frustrating train wreck waiting to happen scenario they have ever put together for a funeral. And that is saying a lot, because this is Salem, where funerals are basically just wrestling matches with floral arrangements. But what is happening with Sophia Choi's upcoming funeral is just next level ridiculous, and I need to vent about it because I am so incredibly stressed out for Holly Jonas. Let's just jump right into the absolute worst part of this entire situation. Sarah Horton. What on earth is Sarah thinking? Sarah is seriously urging Holly to attend Sophia's funeral to show Amy Choi that she is focusing on the good times she shared with Sophia. I'm sorry, but what good times? Are we just going to pretend that Sophia didn't spend the last several months making Holly's life a living, breathing nightmare? Sarah is acting like these two were just having a minor high school spat over a borrowed sweater. No. Sophia actively plotted against Holly, terrorized her, and literally framed her in a fake suicide note. And Sarah, who was literally kidnapped, drugged, and shipped off to an island by Kristen DiMera, should know a thing or two about toxic abusers. Yet here she is, pushing this poor teenage girl to walk into a lion's den of grief and hatred. It makes zero sense. And the thing is, Holly isn't even feeling guilty anymore. And honestly, good for her. I know some people are loving this whole tragic fallen teen angle for Sophia, but personally, I am so glad Holly is finally waking up and remembering the absolute terror Sophia put her through. For a minute there, Holly was spiraling, crying, and blaming herself because of that awful note Sophia left behind. But now, the fog is lifting. Holly is focusing on the reality of who Sophia actually was. She doesn't feel guilty because she knows she didn't push Sophia into the river. But because Holly has dropped the guilt, she is completely out of patience. If she goes to this funeral, she is going to have a massive attitude problem. She is not going to stand there and weep over a girl who tried to destroy her. But that is exactly why she cannot go to this funeral. If Holly walks into that church or graveyard with a chip on her shoulder, rolling her eyes, while Amy Choi is sobbing over her daughter's casket, it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Amy is already a grieving, furious mother who is desperately looking for someone to blame. She has lost her child. Her pain is raw, it is visceral, and it is entirely blinding. Amy doesn't care about what Sophia did to Holly. In Amy's eyes, Sophia is a perfect angel who is driven to her death by cruel, relentless cyberbullying. If Holly shows up looking anything less than completely devastated, Amy's gonna absolutely lose it. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about Amy's actual plan here, because this is where things get genuinely terrifying for Holly. Amy isn't just going to yell at Holly. She is actively digging into a cyberbullying arrest plot. Yes, an arrest. Amy wants Holly in handcuffs. She wants to see Holly's life ruined the way she feels her daughter's life was ruined. And if Holly shows her face at that funeral, it is going to give Amy the exact ammunition she needs. Amy will take one look at Holly's defiant, unapologetic face and she will snap. She will probably humiliate Holly right there in front of the entire town, screaming at her, blaming her, and then she is going to march straight to the Salem Police Department and demand that Jada slap cuffs on her. Am I the only one who sees how incredibly unfair this all is? Sophia faked her suicide note to frame Holly. Sophia was a willing participant in a twisted scheme with Kristen DiMera, the actual devil of Salem. Sophia was planning to skip town and let Holly take the fall. And now, because Kristen decided to bash Sophia's head in with a rock and dump her in the river, Holly is the one facing jail time. I am screaming. Kristen is literally sitting in the DiMera mansion, probably sipping champagne, getting away with cold-blooded murder, while two grieving families tear each other apart. It is so infuriating. I want to jump through the screen and shake some sense into these characters. Remember when they tried this kind of public funeral humiliation with Abigail's service? Or Will's? Yeah, didn't work then either. Funerals in Salem are never about mourning. They're about dramatic confrontations. And Sarah pushing Holly to go is just serving Holly up on a silver platter. Why is Sarah even involved in this? Sarah has her own massive, catastrophic mess to deal with. Xander's literally sleeping with Kristen DiMera, the woman who ruined Sarah's life. Sarah is about to find out that her baby daddy is having afternoon delights with her worst enemy, yet she is taking time out of her day to give Holly terrible life advice. Okay, back to the point. Sarah needs to back off and let Holly stay home. Because, let's be real, Holly is a teenager. She does not have the emotional maturity to fake her way through a high-stakes, highly emotional funeral for her tormentor. She is going to snap. If Amy says one passive-aggressive thing to her, Holly is going to fire back. She is going to stand there, right next to the floral wreaths, and tell Amy exactly what kind of monster Sophia was. And while Holly would be completely justified in telling the truth, it is the absolute worst time and place to do it. The optics are going to be a disaster. The whole town is going to look at Holly like she is a sociopath who drove a girl to suicide and then mocked her at her own funeral. I just know how the Days writers operate. They are setting this up for maximum public humiliation. I can already picture the scene. The somber music is playing. Abe is probably giving a beautiful speech. And then Holly shifts her weight, crosses her arms, and glares at the casket. Amy catches her eye. The music stops. Amy marches across the aisle, points a shaking finger directly at Holly's face, and screams, "You murdered my daughter. It's going to happen." I can feel it in my bones. And then Sarah's gonna stand there looking shocked, like she didn't literally force the girl to be there. And where is Nicole in all of this? Holly needs her mother right now, not Sarah Horton's misguided attempts at peacemaking. Holly is facing a legitimate legal threat. Cyberbullying laws are no joke, and Amy is clearly out for blood. If Amy manages to push this cyberbullying arrest through, Holly could actually face serious consequences. And the tragic irony is that Holly is entirely innocent of Sophia's actual death. She is going to be punished for Kristen's crime. It makes me so mad I can barely type straight. So, what is going to happen during the week of May 25th? It's Memorial Day week. People are supposed to be having barbecues and enjoying the start of summer. But instead, we are going to be watching a teenager get publicly crucified at a funeral. I am absolutely dreading it, but at the same time, I know I am going to be glued to my screen eating popcorn because the drama is going to be top tier. I just want anyone to step up and defend Holly. Tate needs to step up. Brady needs to step up. Someone needs to look Amy in the eye and tell her that her daughter was not a saint. I know some people are loving this storyline and think Holly deserves a reality check for her past bratty behavior, but personally, I draw the line at being framed for murder by Kristen DiMera. No one deserves that. Holly is a victim here too, and forcing her to attend that funeral is nothing short of emotional abuse. I am bracing myself for the absolute worst. They are going to tear Holly apart, Amy is going to go on a rampage, and Kristen is going to keep walking around town in her fabulous outfits like nothing ever happened. It is the most Salem thing ever, and I hate it as much as I love it. Let's just hope Holly survives the week without ending up in a jail cell.